6:30, let's bring you headlines here on Morning Live. Chinese President Xi Jinping has arrived in South Africa on a state visit and also to attend the BRICS Summit in Johannesburg. Now, he was greeted by President Cyril Ramaphosa on his arrival at OR Tambo International Airport. Narrowing the significant trade imbalance that exists between South Africa and China will no doubt top the agenda of the meeting between the two leaders later this morning. So for more on this, let's cross now to our reporter, Samkele Maseko, who's at the Union Buildings. Samkele, good morning. So just taking a look at what is to come, of course, in this bilateral on the sidelines of the BRICS Summit, as it were. Let's talk to what will top the agenda. There's no, of course, talk about narrowing the trade deficit, but what else is likely to be discussed today?
Geopolitics will take a center stage here, Sakina, when President Xi Jinping and President Cyril Ramaphosa have their bilateral meeting on the side visit of this state visit to South Africa on the BRICS Summit that effectively starts tomorrow, that will be opened by President Cyril Ramaphosa with all three other heads of state of other BRICS nations being part of this BRICS Summit. This state visit, Sakina, was initially meant to be for a Russian Federation President Vladimir Putin, but unfortunately he couldn't make it to South Africa due to the sanctions that have been imposed on Russia, and also through to the ICC, the International Criminal Court, issuing a warrant of arrest against President Vladimir Putin. And knowing that South Africa is a signatory of the Rome Statute, we would have had to arrest Vladimir Putin on South African soil, which would have been tantamount to starting a war with Russia, in that affidavit that was filed at the North Gauteng High Court by President Cyril Ramaphosa. Then it had to move to Xi Jinping, the president of the Chinese Republic, who is now on a state visit to South Africa. The issue of President Vladimir Putin will take center stage. The issue of opening up the Black Sea will also be at the center of this particular discussion. And the one important issue that is being drummed up by other BRICS nations, and in particular President Lula da Silva of Brazil, is the issue of the de-dollarization, the issue of coming up with a new currency to compete with the dollar.
Well, Samkele, we, of course, will cross back to you slightly later on in the show as we look at what will be happening here in this bilateral visit and, of course, leading into the BRICS discussion at the summit as well. Now, speaking of BRICS, the 15th BRICS Summit gets underway in Sandton in Johannesburg this afternoon. Leaders of Brazil, India, China and South Africa will be attending in person, while Russian President Vladimir Putin will join the meeting virtually. In the Western Cape, transport authorities say that they are looking forward to a productive meeting of the Minibus Task Team today. The meeting follows Friday's court ruling in the Western Cape High Court, where SANTACO's interdict application against the city of Cape Town was dismissed.